You might just say, well, no, I'm not looking for flesh, I'm looking for money. I'm looking for material success. I'm looking to have another factory. I'm looking to have a bigger house with better furniture. You might talk of material things other than flesh, but all material is necessarily and organically linked to flesh. A material lover would take very little time turning into a flesh lover. And if you are a flesh lover in the peak of your youth, then as your youth subsides, you will find that the charm for flesh is making way for the addiction of material. Those who want decorated bodies when they are young, they are mostly the ones who are crazy after decorated houses once they reach 40 or 50. Both of these wants are one. When you are 20, you want to touch and feel somebody's body. When you are 50, then you want to touch and feel an expensive bed, painted walls, large balance sheets, cars with expensive leather seats. What do you think? Is the tendency different when you are caressing the silken body of your beloved and when you are feeling the leather seats of your new car? Do you know how sensual is the experience of entering a new car with new leather seats? The entire cabin is full of the scent of leather. Have you ever done that? Buy a new car with new leather seats, then enter it. The experience in its depths, if you bother to inquire, is actually erotic. You are smelling leather that is so very similar to sex. So you do not need to wait for your encounters with women to know whether or not you are sexually motivated. Just see whether leather seats attract you. Just see whether furniture and garments and carpets and upholstery and wall hangings and curtains and sofa sets attract you. Just see whether you are fascinated by the glids and the decoration and the jazz of a 5-star hotel. What do you think that 5-star hotel is? It actually represents the glamour of the body. It is decorated like a bride. You know who a bride is? Someone who is now prepared to have sex. That is how finely, heavily, and distastefully decorated a 5-star hotel is. Like a bride. So if you love to be in those places, you must know that sooner than later, you would be chasing women. That is why when dropping happens, then both these things get dropped parallelly. All sensual attractions are one. If you have lost the taste for flesh of a woman, how will you maintain your taste for flesh of chicken? They will get dropped parallelly. And you see that happening, right? That is real renunciation. Real renunciation does not consist of targeted dropping. It is a spontaneous dropping of that within you that used to stick around. It was so hungry, it wanted to consume all kinds of things. It wanted to consume chicken, it wanted to consume leather, it wanted to consume decoration, it wanted to consume prestige, and it wanted to consume man and woman. When the propensity to consume gets dropped, when you start abiding in an inner fullness, then all kinds of consumptions lose their sheen. Situations that titillate will not attract you. As much as food that titillates the palate will cease to attract you. The value that you used to attach to titillation itself drops. You know it is not valuable. And when it is not valuable in totality. It is not without reason. When you call a new car as sexy, it is indeed nothing but sexy. And those who are designing the car take all pains to actually make it sexy. Sexy is not just a euphemism. It is the reality of the design of the car. So many products are actually modeled on female bodies. And so many products are actually modeled after the phallus. The curves of an attractive car are not very different from the curves of a seductive woman. That is why you call the car as sexy. The gleam, the shine that you see on the face of an ornamented woman who has taken all due care to coat and paint and polish and shine her face is not very different from the coat and paint and shine that you see on the surface of a consumer product. It could be a refrigerator. It could be the wall of a house. It could be a historical monument. It could be a computer. The shine is similar. When you lose your taste for shiny stuff, then all these products, objects drops simultaneously, because now you do not value the shine itself. You value something else that is real, something else that is more life-giving, something else that is actually good for you and the entire universe. So you don't have to wait for your encounters with women. Just look at your life in general. What attracts you? If material attracts you, sooner than later, woman too would be a dominant factor in your life. And if you are chained to women, then sooner than later you will have to go after material also. That is the reason people start earning more aggressively and more helplessly after marriage. Because once material in the form of woman enters your life, it calls for more material. In either case, for you, the woman was just material that you were bringing home for consumption. Now that the tendency has started working, you will consume material in all ways, in the form of flesh and also in the form of other things. So don't you see what happens? The level of consumption that you will find in wedded people will be more than the consumption that you will find amongst those who are not. And also the patterns of consumption will be very different. Are you getting it? Even to consume, you require more consumption. If you are single, you can probably sleep on the floor. But if you want to consume the woman, you also have to consume a good bed. So having brought the woman home, now go and get a good bed also. Otherwise, why? Have you firstly brought the woman home? It was not for love firstly, right? She's in your life because you want to consume her. If the computer is there, you better get the UPS as well. If the car is there, you better get a garage as well. So having married, now get a 3 BHK flat. The car is there, buy a garage. Where else will you park the car or the cow? Ask yourself, would you be equally anxious to buy a flat if you didn't have that flesh in your life? Consumption promotes further consumption. So if you are already addicted to one form of consumption, know that many other forms of consumption are just waiting to leap into your life. You cannot avoid them. If today you are buying pretty sandals for your beloved, for sure tomorrow you would be buying milk bottles for the infant. Consumption begets more consumption. One kind of consumption leads to another kind of consumption. Material is material and all flesh is material.